What do you do if you've been running YouTube ads and they were working, say, 12 months ago and now they're just, stagnating? How do you inject fresh life into those ads? The good news is you don't have to change your whole ad. You can just change little micro parts of your ad and test as you go. And in this video, we're going to talk about these 3 things you can test inside of your YouTube ads to re-inject new life into them. That way you keep your creatives fresh, keep your profits coming in, and heaps of new leads. Hey, how's it going? My name is Jules Stan. I'm a freelance copywriter with over $10 million in client results. And YouTube ads are a really hot topic, and I'm having so much fun writing them right now with clients. So if you're like an info marketer, a coach, or a consultant, and you're trying to swell your calendar with leads and sales, you definitely want to tune into this video. So if you're new to this channel, what we talk about is how to get more customers, how to make more per customer, and how to keep them coming back with the power of the pen. And in this particular YouTube video, we're talking about with the power of YouTube ads. And the reason why I love YouTube ads so much right now, because the bar is set so low because there's so much crap. There's not anywhere near as much red tape as Facebook, and people are actually coming to YouTube to solve problems, not to swipe like a zombie on Facebook. All right, so before I get into these 3 testing suggestions or the 3-part framework that I actually borrowed from someone else, the one thing I'm gonna say is that if you can nail this one thing, you'll make super good ads. Never underestimate the power of curiosity. It's our #1 tool as marketers that makes things so juicy and so intriguing that you can get away with everything else being not that good if you've got something extremely intriguing. So it would be ad suicide if you said something early on, what's the most little known cancer fighting ingredient in a supermarket ingredient? Well, the answer is broccoli sprouts. Obviously, this is an extreme example. I love being all dramatic and stuff, but you go back through your ads and you can find this mistake that you're gonna save yourself a lot of headaches. Okay, let's get into the 3 things you can test for your YouTube ads. And it's following a framework that I've borrowed from Russell Brunson. Hook, story, or the offer. So the hook is arguably the most important part of the ad. It is essentially the money maker. And if you check out Dean Graziosi, he's been doing paid media and paid advertising for over 20 years. And what he's saying to get really good ads is to just keep testing creatives. Specifically, keep testing new hooks. And the reason why Dean is able to be way more successful than anyone else doesn't come down to him having the best copywriter in the world. All it means is that he can think of many different hooks and keep testing them in front of his video. That way, when one angle really takes off, they're able to pinpoint that and then optimize from there. So my best advice would be to film as many different angles and hooks you can at the start and keep the body of your ad the same. And that way you can keep testing which is the right hook and then you move forward from there in your testing. So what are some different angles you can test? Are you talking about just financial results in your hook? Is there a specific benefit that your product or service can provide that solves something that most people really hate? That would be a really cool hook. If it's something so crazy and outrageous where people have to find out what it is and how it works, that's a really cool hook. The main thing is I want you to think of hooks as mini promises. And if you're just doing the same watered down version of the same promise, chances are filming a dozen of that angle might not work as well. I'll give you a little bonus hook as well. So one thing I like to do in my spare time, it's kind of nerdy, is that whenever I see a YouTube ad I like, I stop and watch it. And while most ads that go result, they get pretty good results. Gee, there's a lot of results in one sentence. I saw this one ad by this guy called John Penberthy. He basically had 3 different clones of him on a couch having a talk show conversation. What all it was the host and 2 people talking to each other. And the 2 people talking to each other was his ideal customer where they want to be talking to his ideal customer where they're at right now. And the talk show host would ask, so what do you think the best way to generate leads is? Now, I don't want to break down the full ad, but can you see how just having like 3 clones on a talk show couch is just like deeply curious? They're talking about all these pain points and it's not like in your face. It's actually kind of amusing. So entertainment value is definitely something you should test inside of your hooks. So this is the part you would optimize after you've nailed your initial hook. Now, when I say story, I don't necessarily mean like a rags to riches story or a sad sob story. Frankly, there's too many of those going around and I think they're kind of fake sometimes too. All I mean by story is that it's just the general narrative and the direction of your main body in the ad. So one client I was working with, he actually teaches people how to run YouTube ads. Pretty meta with this video, right? And one of the biggest frustration his clients was going through was that they'd maxed out with organic content. They couldn't scale past $30,000 a month without feeling like they solely relied on content to bring in leads. So it makes YouTube ads the perfect solution and segue. But to keep this narrative very curiosity packed, to get them thinking, what's on the other side of this ad? I made sure to go through all his testimonials to find this one golden nugget, and it was perfect. He had a client that had been running the same ad since 2020, and just from the perspective right now, it's 2022. So he had a client that had been running an ad for over 2 years. It hadn't changed, and it's bringing in sales like clockwork. And to me, I just got an idea like, look, he's just created one piece of content and is generating a lead for years. He doesn't have to keep coming back to this. He doesn't have to go through the same ritual of creating content over and over like his customers are. So in the story part of the copy, I doubled down on how this person created a special piece of content that's generating leads for them like clockwork every single day, and it amplifies what they're already doing in their organic content marketing. So how do you take away what I've just mentioned and make this applicable to you? I would pick one major frustration that's going on in your market. So once you pick your major frustration, double down on that pain. Now, I don't mean like a verbal assault where you're just accusing them, but if you can use a customer story where you can talk about their pains and their problems without directly blaming the audience, the person on the other side of the video screen is going to really feel like you understand their problem. The best way to do this is just with empathy. Try not to feel like you have to bully them into making them feel bad. Once you picked your major frustration and you've doubled down on the pain, this is where you present your new opportunity. And this goes into part 3. Part 3 is all about your offer. So just to recap here, they swallowed your hook. We're looking at the analytics. Okay, they're getting through your body copy. Now, this is the part where they might be tailing off. This is the part where people aren't clicking through onto your landing page. So it has something to do with your bait, or in this circumstance, the offer. So let's list some of the popular baits or offers that you might see at the end of a YouTube ad. Pretty much it's the call to action they ask at the end. So this is how I plan a lot of my YouTube videos. Okay, we've got PDFs, video trainings, a free challenge, webinar, a free training, aka a video sales letter in disguise. Geez, I wonder who would do that. Now, if you're like me and you're a pretty sophisticated marketer, you've seen all the promises, you've been to all the trainings, and you're probably just feeling like, God, just solve my problems, damn it. Every man and his dog is crying out, come to my webinar, come to my free training. And it's just like, fire it, man, just give me a simple solution to a complex problem. And that is human nature for you. We all want the damn easy button. But if your bait is like everyone else in the market and it's like, come to this free training or come to this free webinar, you might need to try something different. Some things you can suggest is like being specific with how long it is, like come to this short 8-minute video. Come to this short, sharp superclass. Now, see how webinar is a different name from superclass? It's something they're not used to. The point is, we want people to avoid thinking, oh yeah, I know what this is. Ignore, and instead get them thinking, oh, that's kind of different. I wonder what they've got to say. Okay, so there you have it. These are your testing suggestions. Make sure you test these out sequentially. So first, you've got your hooks, then you've got your story or the main body or the narrative you want to present, and then you've got your offer. Don't go testing these all at the same time because you won't be able to pinpoint what's actually working and what's crap. It's got to be one variable at a time per ad. But the beauty, of course, is that you can publish many different ads so you can test these all at the same time. Now, if you still need help actually writing the YouTube ad because it's just not working, check out my next video where I actually sit down with a real business and a real offer that's not mine and write an ad from scratch. I guarantee you're gonna get a bunch of ideas just by seeing me write this ad from start to finish. So if you ever wondered, how do I come up with the hooks? What's the body look like? What's the offer look like? This is a perfect video. Check it out over here.